Okay, so what I'm about to do is I'm going to go over the procedure for the egg drop data. If you go to Canvas, let me pull that up. I forgot to open that up, but once you get into Canvas, doesn't matter which day this is. It could be A day or B day. You're going to go to Math. I'm going to scroll down until I get to the Math class. You're looking for the link that is called Egg Drop Box and Whisker. There are 3 files in there, but when I open this up, you're only going to see the one. So right here at the top, you're going to click that. It's going to make a copy for you. The rest of them are found down in the Google Assignments box. There's 2 more assignments down there. You need to open up all 3 of them. So you're going to end up with this one. That's the one that's going to make a copy of. Let me make sure I got the other ones up here for you. This one you have to see me to get. This is a handwritten one, so you're going to have to write this out on paper. So you'll need to see me if you're missing that. This one here is one of the ones that will open up. This is some follow-up questions and some pre-assessment questions. So these are like things that you should have thought about beforehand. So I do expect you to go through, answer these questions as best you can. If you are someone who did not get to do the lab because you were not here, there is an alternative assignment, which I'll go to at the very end. And you will have to do that, and you'll share that with me. This one here is the one that we're going to be working more exclusively with. You're going to be answering some questions in here and copying and pasting some information to it. So the first thing we're going to start with is this page right here. So you'll click on the egg drop data. Yours is going to say copy of. I'm going to suggest that you highlight it and, change the name to your name, so that when you turn it in, it's kind of connected to you. Okay. So first thing I want you to do is you're going to come over here to, actually I take it back, you're going to click this box right up here in the very top corner. That will highlight the entire thing. All right, so we're clicking up here to highlight the entire spreadsheet. And what we're going to do then is we're going to go under the tab that says data to sort range, and we're going to go to advanced range sorting options. From here, you're going to change that to column E. We're trying to sort it by column E. So what that does is it puts it from smallest to largest in column E. All this other data stays connected to it. That's why we highlighted the whole thing. All right, so once that's done, you're going to come on over here and you're going to start typing what I'm typing. I'm going to put the words flight data, and we're going to skip one. We're going to go with and without. All right, on this one here, we're going to type min Q1, need for median, Q2, and max. And then anywhere else, I just need you to put mean. We're going to talk about that one in a minute. Okay, so what I will be doing is I'll be adding some formulas to this. I'm working exclusively with column E here. So all of my numbers are going to be based off of E3 to E30. Okay, so here's the first formula. We're trying to do the minimum. So we're going to hit the equal sign. This tells the computer that you're going to be doing some kind of formula. And then I'm going to start typing min. And it looks like min is what I want, so I just hit enter. And it gives me a parentheses. So now all I have to do is I have to type E3 and then the colon key. That's the 2 dots on top of each other. You'll find that near the enter key or right next to the L. You have to hit the shift key first. And then I'm going to go E30. And then I'm going to hit enter. It does ask if I want to autofill. I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, but that number that it gave me is wrong because it should be a different number. We'll get back to that. All right, for quarter one or quartile one, I'm going to start typing quartile. Oops, I take it back. I have to hit equals first, and then I'll start typing quartile. And you'll see quartile is there, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. It already gives me the parentheses, so I'm just going to type E3 colon E30 and hit, and then I have to hit comma 1. Comma 1 just tells me I'm in the first quartile. And I hit enter. Again, I'm going to go ahead and go with the suggested autofill. It's really easy to fix that later. All right, I will go over to the next box, and this one is the median. And so I will type equals. I start typing MED, and look, median shows up as a choice, so I just hit enter. And then I will hit E3 colon E30. Enter. Again, hitting the check mark. Go over to the next one. I am now doing quartile 2. So I start typing quartiles, and again, I did it wrong, equals, and then QU. And then I'm going to go down to quartile and hit enter. This is E3 to E30, comma 3. This is the third quartile. Hit enter. Okay. And my last one is I will hit equals MAX. This is the maximum. This is E3 to E30, and I hit enter. Oops, I did something wrong. I got to check that. E3, oops, I forgot the E, so it's E3 to E30, and I hit enter. And there we go. Okay, so what I need to do to change these is this is without the outlier. So if we were to go back to our worksheet, that's this one right here, I would be typing in those numbers that I just got. Minimum, quartile 1, medium, quartile 3, maximum, and then the mean average we'll get to in a second. Actually, I can just do that right now. So to get the mean, I'm going to hit the equal sign, and I'm looking for the mean. Actually, this will be, we have to type in average. For some reason, the computer here is asking for the average, but it's the same as the mean. E3 colon E30, enter, and there's my number. So this number here would then get pasted right here in this spot. Okay, so you will be filling this out based on the top line of this. So these are the numbers that fit in there plus this one. Okay. This bottom one is if we were to create a graph, but we were to get rid of the outliers. So if I scroll down here on this, if you take a look right here between line 29 and line 30, there's quite a jump between 3.5 to 9.8. So we're going to say 9.8 is probably an outlier. So we need to kind of get rid of that one. So on here, I'm going to change these numbers to E3, and I'm going to drop this down to E29. So for a while, the numbers are going to look the same because the minimum is still the same, and some of the other numbers are pretty close, but they're not exactly the same. Oops, hang on a second. E3, E29. And then my max. The max is going to be a different number, obviously, because we got rid of that outlier. It will be 3.5. Okay, so this data here will then be typed in on the next box. Oh, no, it isn't. I forgot. We're not putting it in there. That's actually going to be something you'll write down on this sheet. So I would say this would be a good time to pause the video and come and get that from me, because this one is the top line. This one is the bottom line. Okay? And you'll have to come see Mr. Hotchkiss for that. All right, so what's the next thing we're going to do? We are now going to highlight these. We're going to create a box and whisker plot. So you'll see that I highlighted from flight data all the way down to 3.5. All right, so then I will go underneath Insert, Chart. Now the computer is going to make a guess on what kind of chart it thinks I want. I do not want this one. I want a box and whisker chart. You might get lucky. Your computer might say, oh, this is what you want, and it will give it to you. But this one didn't for me. All right, so there you go. I just made myself a box and whisker chart. I think on here they call it a candlestick chart. Yeah, that's what it is right there. Now, there's a couple things we need to change here. The first thing is we need to go to the very bottom down here. You can see these are the datas here where it's telling you where the quartiles and where the data is spread out. So I want to change this Q2 to max. and I want to change this Q or this median to Q2, and this is what I want it to look like. So now I'll click these three dots. I will move it to its own sheet, and then I'm going to go up here and click on Copy Chart. I'll go back to this assignment here, and you'll see there's a red spot here where it says to put your graph in. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there, and there it is. You can resize it if you need to. All right, so you should have this filled out. You should have these filled in. And then right here, it's asking if there's any outliers. Well, we just talked about that. The outlier was 9 I forget what it was, 9.8, I think. Let's try that again, back here. 9.8. So I would type that in. There's 9.8. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to create a new tab. So I'm going to put a new tab here in my group, and this one is going to be desmos.com. All right, first thing you want to do is you want to log in. Looks like I'm already logged in, which is good. So I click on the login, and then I will click on the graphing calculator. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this sheet here. This is the work we're working on now. We're going to take and try to create a scatter plot on mass versus total distance. So we're going to go back to the data table. We're trying to do mass. So I'm going to click on here, click and hold, and I'm going to drag down. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Okay, so I've got D highlighted and then total distance. But in order to do that, you're going to have to click on the control key and click and hold on your mouse pad, and then use the other hand to drag down. So that's what I'm doing right now. Actually, I'm using my mouse. I'm going to tell you again, the mouse is useful. You need to have a mouse. Oops, I must have goofed, so I'll do that again. There you go. So you're going to have D and G highlighted. All right, so you're going to hit Control C on your calculator, on your computer, and then I want you to go into Desmos, and in this box up here, you're going to hit Control V. So what it does is it puts all the data in. Now, once in a while, it will put in a bunch of parentheses and things like that. What that means is that you have to go back over here, and you probably have some other box highlighted on this screen. So you'll have to just copy and paste it again. So you have to re-highlight D and G. But my suggestion is to click off of it somewhere and then click back on. You notice how that box over here disappeared. So I'm going to click and hold, then I'll drag down. So make sure there's no other boxes highlighted other than the ones you have highlighted now. Oops, I just hit the wrong button. So back to this. All right, so the last thing you're going to do on this particular activity is you're going to add the line of best fit. So here you're going to type in line 2, Y1, and then there's a squiggly line. If you look at your keyboard, look above the tab key right next to the number 1. You have to hit the shift key and the squiggly line. So that's Y1 squiggly line, XB1 plus, no, what is it? It's XM or XB?
X.
XM1?
MX.
MX1. There we go. There we go. So it's Y1 squiggly line, MX1 plus B. All right, so what that does is it adds this line in here. Now, if I look at this line, one thing I notice right away is this right here. This is that outlier that we talked about earlier. So it's way out there. So that might be skewing our data, but it doesn't matter. Something I noticed right away. So you can see that it has a negative slope because it is going from the positive to the negative. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to hit the save button. On this save button, you're going to put mass versus distance traveled. Yes. I have to pause this. Hang on. I'm doing a... And we're back. I had to run to a quick meeting. All right, so you're going to save this as mass versus distance traveled. Let's go traveled and hit save. Once you get it to this point, you're going to then click on this little box right here where it says share graph. You're going to click on export image. Now, this is going to look like your screen, but when I click mine, it's going to look different from yours. So when you click download PGN, you're going to have a little box that opens up here on the bottom right. And underneath that box will be a thing that says little words that say copy to clipboard. Click that. You're going to copy it to the clipboard. All right. So mine's going to pop up over here. So it's the same process, though. You're going to then paste it. So I'm going to bring this over to here. And right here it says paste your scatter plot here. So I'm going to click underneath it. That seems to work best. And then you're going to hit Control V, and I'm going to just drag it up here like this. And this is what yours should look like. Now, what I'm going to suggest is that you resize it a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. And then there are some questions underneath. Now, this part here, this question here, you can do one of two things. You can go back here. I've got this done, so I'm going to get rid of that. This set of numbers right here, so I'm just going to circle them. These numbers, you see I'm clicking it, but it won't highlight. You can't copy them and paste them. So it's a real pain in the butt. So you can sit here and try to transfer them by looking back and forth, or you can take a shortcut, which is something that I'm going to show you, but I can just walk you through it. You're going to hit your Alt key, your Control key, and then about the middle of the top line of keys on your computer is a key that has a rectangular box with two lines next to it. You need to click all three of those. Okay. And once you click all three of those, it's going to give you a little thing at the bottom, like a little pop-up box at the bottom. Look closely at those. There is a little icon in the middle that has like a box with a plus sign in the bottom right corner. Click that. And that's going to allow you to highlight this section right here. Okay, so I'm going to do basically what it is, but I have to click on this screen capture thing here. So what it's going to do is it's going to get your screen's going to get kind of dark like mine just did, and you're just going to highlight the section you want it to copy. So I'm doing that. So it copies it. Now you're just going to hit, when yours does this, it's going to have the words capture underneath it. So click that capture button, and what it does is it copies it. So then you're going to go and you're going to come back to this assignment, click in the box, and you're going to click, and you're going to, well, you can right click or you can hit Control P. Control V, which is going to paste it. Okay. This is what you're doing, basically that. You're just copying and pasting it into there. Now, the last part here, number 4, you are going to look at this data up here, and you're also going to look at this slope right here to answer that question, okay? In particular, you're looking at the r-squared value, and remember that if the number is closer to 0, like this one is, it's closer to the 0 than 1, then there is no connection between the data, which definitely means that there is no connection between mass and total distance. Okay. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go back into Desmos. Now, this is why you saved this, so that we can leave it here in case you lose it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is click on the little hamburger right here in the top left corner, and I'm going to click on a new blank graph. Okay, so this is a new graph, and we're going to get some new data. So we're going back over to the assignment, and it's asking me to collect data for mass versus total distance. Okay, and I just thought of something really cool. I just highlighted it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to save myself some time. I'm going to, well, let's just do that. There we go. Just put something in there. I'm going to hit the save button, and I'm going to paste that in right there. Cool. All right, so then I'll take that out. Okay, so I go back to the data, and what I'm looking for now is column D. So I'm going to do the same process again. Oops, I'm at the bottom here, so I'm going to go back to the top. Okay, here is the data for column D. And then I want distance from target, which is column F. So again, you hit the control key, click with one finger, and then drag with the other on your mouse. But I am going to do it like this. Okay, so bottom line, you need to get D and E highlighted. You will hit Control C for copy. Then you'll go back to Desmos, and in this box here, you're going to hit Control V, and it should have plotted your data. And again, if you look right here, we've got this huge outlier, which is going to skew our data. All right, so last thing we're going to do on this one is we're going to add in that slope. So remember that is Y1, shift key for the squiggly line, MX1 plus B. And there's our slope. Now in this one, I want you to notice right away that the slope is a positive slope because it's going from the negative towards the positive. All right, so I'm going to click on that save button if I haven't done already. I'm going to save it as mass versus total distance. Then I will go to share the graph. I will export the image, hit the download button. You're going to click on copy to clipboard down over here. You will head back to this assignment. It says to paste your scatter plot here, which it looks like I already did. Maybe I put mine in the wrong place. I seem to, oh, there it is right there, scatter plot. So I'm going to put my scatter plot right there. That didn't work. Oh, I know what I forgot. I can't do that. I have to drag mine up. So yeah, you're going to paste it. You're going to hit Control V. I have to do something else, which it's not letting me. Well, hang on. Let me get back down there. There we go. Okay, well, mine's going to be jumpy, unfortunately. There we go. All right. And then we're going to follow that same procedure from before to copy and paste this data into number 5. Okay. Again, if you don't remember how to do it, you're going to hit the, let me close this up, you're going to hit the Alt Control, and somewhere on the middle of your keyboard at the top of the keyboard, there is a little rectangular box with 2 lines to the right of it. You're going to click all 3 of those. So Alt Control box in that order. Then you will highlight this part of the screen this time. Yours might actually come up with it in the right place. And you will then remember that once you have this highlighted, you're looking for the word capture. Click on the capture button. You will then go back over to here and you will Control V, paste it. And then you will answer these questions again. So again, to answer number 6, you have to go look at the slope. Is it a positive or negative slope? Is it statistically significant, which if you look at the number there, again, it's closer to 0.2791. So I would say there is no significant connection between mass versus distance from the target. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're going to go back over here. You can go ahead and close this because you've already saved it. Then you will go into this assignment here and make sure that you have answered these questions. There's 3 pre-questions and 5 post-questions. Answer them to the best of your ability. Make sure those are done. Once you're done, you have all 3 files that should be completed. Now remember, you need to see Mr. Hotchkiss about getting this file here. This isn't a file, this is a worksheet you need to fill out. You will need this open in order to fill it out, okay? And you will be creating a box and whisker on that. And that you've done one similar to this when you did the box and whisker for these egg straw data. So this is really basically the same thing on this one. It's really the same thing, but I can help you with that. It only takes about 10 minutes to do that. All right, so once you're done, you will click on the assignment again over here, the box, egg drop, box and whisker. There's a blue button where you will submit your information, your files. You can't see it on mine because I don't have that same screen. So you will click that button, and before you hit submit, you need to make sure that you attach this file here. So this file here is not attached to it automatically. You will have to make sure you attach that to it. So if you're looking at the turn-in screen, you should see a little button underneath the submit button that says attach files. You will click on the attach file, and this is why you're naming it after your name here, like I have James Hotchkiss in here. So it's easier for me to find it. It will come up with the files, and it should come up with your most recent file, which could be this assignment here. Click that, add it in. Okay, if you look through this as I'm scrolling down, you can see that people have turned it in. They have 3 files attached. Some people submitted it and there's only 2 files attached. So this isn't completed. So you have to make sure there are 3 files attached. And I'm going to stop saying 3 files. That's about it. If you have any questions, please feel free to check in with Mr. Hotchkiss or Mrs. Endress. And again, don't forget you need to see us, one of us, about getting this assignment here and getting that one completed. All right, good luck.